Hello everyone, my name is Chloe and today I am here with a brand new video. Welcome to Brunette Bibliophile, where I post bookish videos and writing content. Today I am here with a very chill July wrap-up. No makeup, no fancy outfit. I mean, you don't really get fancy outfits from me. I just came back from a walk. It's very chill. We're going to talk about the, I think, 21 items that I read during July. I read a good mix of things. I read some YA, I read some adult, I read some graphic novels, I read some short stories. So we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. I'm kind of weaning off of my graphic novel kick, so we're going to talk about the last little bit of that, and we're just going to talk about a bunch of stuff. So some things I'm probably going to combine, might talk not too much about them. So this could be a quick video and it could be a long video. So we're just going to see what happens. So let's go ahead and jump right in to everything that I read during July. Now I'm going to tell you guys right now, I did not get through all of my TBR that I planned for this month, which is not surprising at all. Alright, so the first things we're going to talk about is Heartstopper Volume 3 and Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. So this is the entire series that's out up to this point, and I will say that it kind of got a little dark towards the end, and I was anticipating like a lighthearted read, but it was going towards some deep topics, so trigger warnings for mental illness and suicidal thoughts and eating disorders. Was not expecting that. I still haven't watched the TV show yet. I still have to do that. I am excited for the next volume. I think it's Volume 5 that comes out next. But both of these I gave 4 stars, and I will be continuing on with the series. Then I read Volumes 5 through 14 of Giant Days, and this is by John Allison. And I'm happy to say that I have completed it. I gave all of these volumes 4 stars. There are still some bonus side stories that I haven't picked up yet. I think it's called Extra Credit. I haven't read any of those yet, but I did finish the main series, and I am happy. The end kind of went a little farther into adult life past college than I expected it to, which is totally fine. And I am excited to kind of pick up the side stuff and still kind of dive back into this world. Then I read One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This kind of moved from my June TBR into July. I enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars. I think I enjoyed Casey McQuiston's debut more than this one though. But I was still interested in this one, and I kind of really liked the combination of New York in the present time versus talking about New York in the, I believe it was the 60s. There was a lot of interesting stuff to pull from this book all around, but I did still enjoy her debut a bit better. Casey McQuiston is still an author I'm going to look forward to releases from, but overall, 4 stars. Next, I read another graphic novel called Who the F Are You by Hudafru. This is a middle grade comical graphic novel about Huda, who just moved to Michigan, and her town has a small Muslim population. And it's really just a coming of age story asking, who is she? It was cute. I read it off a recommendation from my coworker. Overall, I enjoyed it, but I decided not to give it a star rating. While I enjoyed it, I don't have too many feelings about it, so I really didn't want my star rating to affect that. Next, I read See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This is my first YA book from this author. I've read both of her adult romances, so this was a first for a YA for me. I would consider this more of a new adult. It's definitely more new adult coming of age story. I know that the classifications of what is considered YA as far as ages differing from adult, etc. For me, I consider this a new adult just because it's a college story set in a college. It is her freshman year, but still, I'm gonna classify it as a new adult. This book does have me excited to pick up other YA novels by Rachel Lynn Solomon, so I do anticipate picking up her past 2 or 3 that she has out. Overall, I gave this 4 stars. I did receive an e-arc from the publisher via NetGalley, so thank you for providing me with that, and I will link my Goodreads review in the description below. 4 stars. Okay, this next one I actually forgot that I read, but I read The Sizzle Paradox by Lily Manon. That is the pseudonym for Sanja Menon. I said her last name wrong the first time, I apologize. I received an e-arc from the publisher via NetGalley in exchange for an honest review. Also, I am a member of Sanja/Lily Menon's street team, but again, all thoughts and opinions are my own. So this is her sophomore novel as far as writing adult books. And I think I liked her debut into adult romance better than this one. Something about this story didn't work for me as much as I wanted it to. I can't really pinpoint of whether it is the flow or how genuinely blind these two main characters are, but something just wasn't working for me. I don't think this is a bad book. There were elements that I enjoyed, but overall I decided to give it a 3.5 star rating. It was more than just okay, but I don't think it deserves a full 4 star from me. And I did write a review on Goodreads, so I will link that in the description below as well. Next, I read one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and that was Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. First of all, 5 stars. Christina Lauren has been on an upward tick for me, but this was something so different from what they usually write, but also so pure Christina Lauren. This is a romance and a rom-com, but it does have an adventure element. If I had to compare this to a movie, if you've watched The Lost City, then read this book. I think this is a really good comparison book. Is it exactly the same? No, but it gives those vibes. This is probably going to end up on my favorites of the year, not because it's like the best thing I've read this whole year, but because of how different it was and so interesting while still being a Christina Lauren novel. There was adventure, there was talks of like hiking and like going into like deep woods to find treasure, and it was just so interesting, and there were some parts that were pretty serious with like bad guys and stuff. So definitely check out Something Wilder, 5 stars from me. Okay, so now we're getting into the last little bit. Next, I picked up the book club pick for the BookTube Chicks book club, and that was The Goddess Test by Amy Carter. This is a reread for me. I originally read this back in 2015, and now it is a book club pick. My original rating was a 4.5. After a reread, it is now a 4. Is this a good book? No. Did I enjoy it? Yes. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first time around, but I did still enjoy the premise. It has terrible parts, but I kind of just chose to ignore them. We also had a live show for this book where some of us may have ripped this book to shreds, and I'll link that in the description below, but I'm still going to continue on with the series. I don't know if you would call this a guilty pleasure book or what. Like, it's not good, but it's good. That doesn't make any sense, but it does to me. Next, we're going to talk about another book club pick, and this is for the Quarterly Romance Book Club for quarter 3, and I read Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. Let me tell you that this kind of blew me away. Definitely was an underdog that I was not expecting. The beginning was a little slow for me, but the second half blew me away, and I absolutely freaking loved this book. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. That half bump down is because of the slow beginning for me, but I'm so excited to talk about this book with Desiree from Libra Labra. The live show has not happened yet. It will be on her channel. We're going to be talking about Dating Dr. Dill on August 7th, so I will leave the information for that in the description below, and I'm very excited to talk about this book. If you haven't picked this up, I highly recommend. I definitely think it's going to end up on the Goodreads Choice Awards this year. So something to look forward to. And then I read 2 short stories. I only counted 1 on my reading, but the first one was a little short story that bridges the Dark Olympus series and the Wicked Villain series, both by Katie Robert, and it bridges the 2 together. It is a Hades short story. If you are familiar with either or both of those series, then you will understand where this is going. I don't want to talk about it because it's spoilers, but that was a cute little like 30-page read. Enjoyed that. I love the connections that we're bridging. I'm still reading both of those series, but I just love having the connection. And then I read Stone Heart, which is a prequel to the whole series, and this is a Medusa retelling. This one is not my favorite thing that Katie Robert has ever written. It wasn't really working for me. I gave it 3 stars. I'm sure it works for somebody, but I don't know. I don't know if it was because every time I sat down to read it, I just really didn't have time to read or what, but this one is not my favorite from her, so 3 stars, but I'm still excited to read a lot of other stuff by Katie Robert. And the final book I finished was Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. This is the second book in the Bellinger Sister duology, and I really liked this book a lot more than the first one. When I was reading the first book, the main character, Piper, was an absolute airhead. And I knew that the sister, Hannah, was way smarter and I liked her a lot more. Well, this is Hannah's book, and of course she is smarter, and I liked this book a lot more. So I'm only familiar with her writing in the sense of this duology, but this one I liked way more than the first one. I think the first one I gave 3.5 stars. This one I am giving 4 stars. I really liked Hannah so much more, and I really liked the relationship dynamic that was in this book. So overall, 4 stars. I do have some other Tessa Bailey that I would like to pick up. I do have one of my own shelves that I would like to pick up. So hopefully I will enjoy it like I did with Hook, Line, and Sinker. So that is everything that I read during the month of July. I know we covered a lot of stuff, but thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys read down in the comments below. Make sure you check out the live show and all the reviews that I'm going to link in the description below. And come join us for the Dating Dr. Dill live show on August 7th at 6 p.m. on Desiree's channel. All the information is down in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you like what you see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every week, so click subscribe so you can be updated for when I post those. And if you like what you see here, consider checking out my Patreon, linked in the description below. Thank you all so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
In the darkness, I don't feel so cold.